Yeah, for me, the impress. He's 18. Love his frame, and he's got a really, for a young kid, really intelligent player. So there's a lot to like. There's a lot to like with him. He's obviously a young player and he's got to fill in. And we were just talking about it. I thought he's had a really good camp. Last game it was a little tougher for him because he was tired, right? And it's not just for an 18-year-old. It's for even a 28-year-old. You still gotta you can still win with your B game, or still have a good game on your B game. So I think that's the next level. But he's 18 years old and he's he goes down to junior and the stuff we're doing up here, I really want him to. I think he's got a good coach down there. So really, there's a good development year for him going down there.
What do you feel like he needs to focus on when you guys go back?
Well, I honestly, the hockey IQ, I think obviously, you get it stronger. 18-year-olds got to get stronger. Pretty good skater for a big guy. The patience with a puck. He's a great draw man. I mean, like I said, there's not a lot of flaws in his game. It's just about maturity and consistency right now for him and knowing the pro game, like any 8-year-old.
With Christian Dvorak, it's been a few years since you worked together with him. What have you seen? I know it's only really practices, maybe 1-2 games.
Yeah.
But what have you seen from him, and since maybe when he was a little younger and you worked with him then to now?
Yeah, I think if things get a little crazy out there, he can calm things down with his positional play. And in the Montreal game, I thought obviously we didn't have the greatest first, but the second, third, I saw we came a little bit. I think because Devo kind of settled. He can settle things down. Good positional player, good draw guy, and he wants to add more offense to his game. Can he give us more offense? That's the next level for him.
You have him playing with Matvei Michkov
Yeah.
and Trevor Zegras. Is that kind of the thought process behind that, maybe to boost his offense a little bit?
Yeah, just different combinations to see. I mean, like I said, I haven't been around here. Coaches wanted to see this. You play with two high-end players like that. I thought, like I said, you like to have the third guy somewhat responsible. You can't. And I feel maybe it'll work. I don't know. We just want to try it.
I'm sorry, just one more follow-up
go for
on
it.
Christian Dvorak. Just he's obviously very skilled in the faceoff circle.
Yeah.
Is he expected to take the faceoffs with Trevor, or do you want Trevor to take the faceoffs and he's almost like the fail-safe in case he gets kicked out or something?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see obviously whoever's hot, but Trevor's got to get some reps because if he's going to play center, so he should get reps. But Devo's got to get his reps in. So I'll leave it up to them. I didn't really tell them which. Sometimes things can kind of happen organically. But as we go into getting close to the regular season, we'll dial that in a little bit more for sure.
Rick, after the game on Thursday, you were pretty open that you just thought the
Yeah.
team was gassed. You gave them the day off on Friday. I'm just curious, when you see a game like that, obviously you guys are in evaluation mode, especially for the bubble guys, but do you just kind of throw a game like that sort of in the trash in terms of evaluation, or does it still count a lot in terms of seeing who is ready and who might make the team and who might not?
Yeah, if it was a regular season halfway through the year, you might say, all right, let's put the video away and forget about it, but not now. Though this is good evaluation. I mean, good teams play tired. You can win games playing when you're tired, when you have your B game. I felt guys were tired, and then all of a sudden, we were into duplicating mistakes. One guy made a mistake, which is going to happen, and all of a sudden the second, third guy made a mistake, and then it's an ace shot. Now the goalie's got, he's got no shot. So that's the maturity of it. And that's, every day or every week you have one thing as a coach, a lesson that you work on. And that was this week for me is being able not to duplicate mistakes. And number two is you got to be able to play when you're tired. If you want to be a consistent team, you can't just push your chips on every shift. If you're tired, you just can't. And I think that's the lesson today and the next couple of games. If we are tired, you got to be able to hang in there for us.
You've mentioned that on the in terms of D-zone coverages with, earlier in camp, you said if we're really going to cut the net in half, then guys have to be able to push through the fatigue, right?
Yeah, the working hard, that's the one thing they're working hard. It's the Washington, there's three, I mean, not to bore you, there's three examples where just leave the guy, we were just falling, we're leaving our feet, we're chasing the puck, all of a sudden, who gets the shot? Guy right in the middle of the ice. Just leave the guy on the outside. Even though you're tired, we got to be able to have our heart rate. Keeping people on the outside is okay. It's okay. Who cares? They have the puck. I know, you know, fans get antsy because the other team has. Who cares? Keep them on the outside, because the one thing you start rushing or you leave your feet, grade A, it's either in the net or the goalie's got to make a 10-bell save. So we got to cut that down. I know, it's early. It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks in. Like I'm asking for stuff that it's going to take a while, and our staff is patient. We'll be patient with that.
When you're evaluating Noah Juleson, a guy you have familiarity with, obviously from Vancouver, how much does the recent history play into it, as opposed to, because there are guys that you're unfamiliar with, obviously, in camp, in weighing whether he makes the team, where his role is, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you know what? And Jules has just been okay. Like, it's not like, and he knows that. Like, I know he can play better, and he knows it. So, some guys I don't really know him that well, and if they've had a couple bad games, it's like sometimes as a coach you're like, man, he's not playing well, and maybe he can't play in your head. Where I know Noah has it in him to play well. So, is there a little bit of, I know him, and Yogi? Yeah, we know him and Dylan, our video coach, we know him. So, does he get a little bit of latitude? Maybe just a touch, but that, we're trying to find, there's competition with there's 3 or 4 defensemen, and he's in that mix, who can lock down, a roster spot.
John Tortorella would always tell us that Artemi Panarin was the best player he had seen play tired. Just out of curiosity, in your experience, can you think of a player that was just amazing when he was tired?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys. I mean, obviously, Sidney Crosby is probably a guy that, for me, and even that Pittsburgh team, when we won back-to-back cups, we could win. That team could win it any way you wanted to win. If it was a fast-paced game, they could win. If it's a 2-1 hockey game, it's the outside stuff. We wouldn't panic. And that comes with experience. That comes with leadership and all that stuff. And obviously, you have a guy like Crosby. It's a pretty easy guy to follow. So we're developing that. Like today in practice, like the Cates line, Brink and Forrester. They really set the tone in practice with their intelligence, and I know they were good last year. Maybe it's a line we're going to keep them together, but I like that when even there was drills they were tired, but they were still in good spots. That's a good sign.
What do you want to see from Jed tonight? Because obviously he's a guy that you've got him with Jetlichenko, you got him in the middle there.
Yeah.
He's a guy that we've been told for a while now has the foundation is there in terms of the hockey IQ and all that. Is there something that does he need to take any part of his game maybe to the next level to really catch your attention and try to lock down a spot here?
Yeah, the intelligence and his speed is tough to teach, right? I mean, that he's got that. Now it's like, it happened in Montreal, even Wash. You have the puck with speed. Like, don't rush the play. Like, it's okay to keep it. I think he's antsy once he gets in the offense zone. He wants to get rid of it. I want him to keep it, and not afraid to make a play or challenge a D. Do a deep delay, because the D are tough. I mean, they're going to back up because he's got speed. So now he is going to have time and space. So can he make a play off the time and space plays? That's the next level for him. But the speed, the intelligence that he has defensively and stuff is something. He's ahead of the curve for his age.
What have you seen from Dennis Gilbert, and how do you maybe see him fitting into the lineup?
Yeah, I would put him in the pack with about 4 guys, vying for the. Nobody's really kind of stood out for me yet. I mean, we need one of those guys to play a good game for us, and they've all kind of in that area. He's kind of in that mix, so I'd like to see a little bit more from him, obviously. I mean, it's not an indictment to him. It's just, we're at when you're evaluating people, you're looking for somebody to step ahead. And, whether it's Gilly or Juleson or McDonald or Jennings or whoever, we're looking for those guys to kind of take over what we're looking for on the defensive side.